Alright guys, so this is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and today I am super stoked. So the old van that I picked up a few weeks ago, I really wanted to get it converted to four-wheel drive, so we are currently at AJs 4x4 vans, and they are going to do the 4x4 conversion, plus also do some other work to the van that you guys will see as we go along. But I'm super stoked. We're gonna get it, they're all ready to go, and we're gonna get it into the shop and get started on it. Alright guys, so as you can see, the van is all done. We've got, it's all built out. I've got Art with AJ 4x4 vans here, and he did all the build along with his crew, and I just kind of want to introduce him and what is it all that you guys do here? I mean, obviously 4x4 conversions, yes. But what else do you kind of do here?
We basically, first we do a 4x4 conversion. That's our main thing. We convert your vans to 4x4. And then we also do accessories, like we do our roof racks, we do custom bumpers, we do side steps, basically kind of fitting to whatever the customer needs after the conversion.
So as you guys can see, that there's been a lot of things done here to my van, and we're going to start right up here at the front, and we'll walk you guys through everything that was done. Alright guys, so starting right off at the front of the van, I got a new winch bumper. It was really important to me that I had a spot to put my Warren 15,000 pound winch, and then I was also wanting some lighting that would actually kind of kick out to the sides a little bit, so that way when I'm in the woods at night and I'm looking for a place to camp and it's dark, I got a little bit more peripheral vision off to my sides. Of course that will be handled a little bit too with the lighting on top, which we'll get to in a minute. But these are just kind of angled a little bit off, and then that will help me kind of see into the woods a little bit. Also, I wanted to make sure that there was some brush guards to kind of protect the headlights and everything, because I have taken sticks to the headlights on my old Ford and taken them out, so that was good. And then we also added another bar here just to make sure that there was some protection for the top of the winch, like where the control module and everything is. But I think it came out real good. Art, tell them a little bit about the design.
So the design, we came up with it along with Jason, basically kind of meeting his needs that he needed for his winch. Being that the winch is a heavy duty winch, we went ahead and built the center interior of the winch mount at 1/4 inch thickness, so it's real heavy duty for it. And then the outside of it, it's basically wrapped around with 1/8 inch thick steel. So yeah, turn out good. After that, after we're done with the bumpers, we paint them. We spray them with bed liner just to protect them from the outdoors.
Yeah, from brush rubbing up against it. It'll definitely be a lot more durable and hold up really well. So then we added, the Warren Epic Fair Lead, and I also added Warren Epic shackles, and then which I basically all this stuff I had on my other vehicle, my old Ford, before I just transferred it over. But anyways, yeah, real happy with the way this turned out. So let's go around to the side of the van and show them what we did there. All right, Art, so tell them what you did here on the side of the van.
All right, so we did our custom side steps. On this one, we have just a single step because it's a driver's side. Passenger side will have the dual for the front driver's side, passenger side,
and the cargo.
In the cargo in the back. In addition, we also did our ladder. we typically do for most of our customers. We changed this one up a little bit. We do it, depending on what the customer need is. But we did our ladder on it, and it mounts to our custom rack. This is kind of one-off rack. Same design that we typically do, but we changed it up a little bit. We did the steps, so we did the ladder, and we did the rack at 1.5 inch tubing. And basically, on the rack, we did lights all the way around, a 55-inch strip in the front, around 32-inch in the rear, and 6-inch spotlights on each corner. So, and then after that, after we fab them up, we paint them, and then we spray bed liner on them. So it become, pretty rugged if you're out in the woods, and the branches and stuff like that will hit them. They won't peel off.
Yeah, and so part of the design that we did with my rack is we have this little opening, which was not something that you typically did before.
No.
But we added that, kind of put our heads together. We added that, and the main reason is, as you guys know, I like to cut firewood and take firewood back to camp. So one of the challenges that I thought I might have with the van is, obviously, I don't have a truck bed. So what we came up with is, a lot of times I like to cut my firewood into like short lengths. So this way I should be able to cut them into 4-foot sections, grab them, set them right up here on this top step, and then shove them right up on top. And that way I can haul them back to camp, and I think that will work out pretty good.
We also, if you can see, we put mesh on top. We don't typically do that because depending on what the customer needs are, but on this one specifically, we did mesh on it. And then we also installed his...
my Max Air fan.
Yeah.
So there's also, on top here, he made a space for my Max Air fan. So that's going to be for the interior, so that I get more ventilation in the interior to help with condensation and just cooling the van off in the summer, and and helping with condensation in the winter. But yeah, they left me a nice opening there. And then on the back here, they left me, I've got a good space, and part of the reason why also we went with the mesh on top is I also want to be able to climb up here and use this as a platform to shoot photography from. So I'll be able to take the camera and tripod up here and actually be able to shoot from the top of the van, which will give me a different perspective on some of my landscape shots.
Yeah, so I mean, that's we switched it out, like the way you needed it, the way you wanted it, and actually it turned out real nice. The ladder mounts onto the rack, it mounts onto the steps, which is, we were doing that, and now I kind of like the opening you did there, because I mean it makes sense now. So
yeah,
we love it.
All right, guys, so let's get into the 4x4 conversion. I'm pretty sure that's why most of you tuned in the first place. So Art, tell them what on the bottom of my van is still factory forward, and what did you make here in-house?
So factory 4 is the axle. It's a Dana 60 with 373 gears. This one's particular one's off an 08 F250. What we build in-house is our radius arm brackets and our steering bracket, basically where the differential hangs from on the radius arms.
Okay, and so my van has got coil springs, so you can either, with these 4x4 conversions, I've seen people go coil springs or leaf springs.
Yeah.
Why do you guys choose to go with coil spring?
We choose to go with coil springs because from our experience, it's a little bit better ride when you're out and about.
Yeah, and you get a little bit more steering.
Yes, steering is a little bit more forgiving when you have coils.
Yeah. Now, what's one of the downsides to coils is the death wobble. That's where some people get them. So how do you combat the death wobble with going with coil? Yeah,
I mean, we couple ways. Our steering bracket, the way we designed it, that helps with it a lot. And then going with the dual steering stabilizer. These particular ones are Tough Country, which work great, and that basically eliminates the death wobble that most vans have, most coil vans have.
Okay.
Leaf spring ones, I mean, we decided to go with these, and that's the ones we basically do here. We stick with these.
Yeah, and I can say just from driving the thing already that it does ride really nice, and I really like the fact that it does have a good steering radius. I mean, I can turn it still really sharp. But and I get it off road, it does real well, but it handles very well. In fact, the van actually handles better now than it did before I brought it in here with the factory whatever they had underneath here, but it actually handles better now. So a couple other things that we did that was a little bit out of the ordinary is we added, you guys went ahead and changed out my rear axle,
Yes.
which normally you don't do that.
Yeah, normally what we do is we'll match your gear ratio that we do to your rear axle. So typically we'll just grab an axle, we'll check your gear ratio in the back, and then we'll just match it to whatever you have in the rear.
But we didn't do that with mine because my gear ratio is a little bit weird.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. They're not very common on that gear ratio, so we went ahead and just went with 373s front and rear.
Yeah, which really worked out because not only that is that what was on this van was drum brakes, but so by going with the newer axle, I got disc brakes in the back now, and then also it turned out that the axle that we got ended up having the Ford limited slip. Now we have 4-wheel drive and also limited slip in the back, so that should definitely help me when I'm off-road with the van. All right, folks, so after reviewing the footage, I realized we completely forgot to talk about the most important part of the build, and that is the transmission and transfer case. The transmission in my van was an AOD transmission, and it was pulled out of the van and sent to a transmission shop where it was completely rebuilt and an adapter added that would allow AJs to bolt on the transfer case. The transfer case that was bolted on is an NV271. They also had to pull the gas tank out of the van and cut about 3 to 4 gallons off the gas tank in order to make room for the transfer case.
All right, so the tank's welded now. Juan, he was the one cutting it and basically cut out a plate for it, and now it's all welded, ready to go. Right now, the only thing we're waiting for is make sure there's no leaks. What he did is he went ahead and filled it up with water, couple gallons of water, and we'll let it sit there for a little while. And once we know we don't have any leaks, we'll drain the water, make sure it's nice and dry, and we'll spray a sealant inside, to prevent rust and all that, and then we'll spray the outside. So it's just another process that we do for to make sure there's no leaks in it. So should be ready to go here soon. No leaks right now.
Once that was all done, everything was bolted back into place, and the van was now a 4-wheel drive. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps up everything that we did to the van. I still have a bunch of stuff I have to do to it personally on the interior and a few little things there to kind of get it where I want. But man, I couldn't be more excited about where the van sits right now. It's definitely the Van B Sasquatch that I wanted it to be. I mean, and then some. I mean, I think you guys did a fantastic job. One of the things that a lot of people asked on Instagram is, how much does a van conversion like this cost?
A van like this, we start them around $9,000, and that's just your basic turnkey build. After that, you can add accessories like bumpers, racks, steps. Also, the $9,000 does not include the wheels and tires.
Right.
But basically, $9,000 will get you a van that you can start playing with.
Right. And I did a lot of research on this kind of beforehand, and I think anybody else who's really researched this, doing the van conversion, that $9,000 is definitely a good price, a good fair price.
Yeah, so. I mean, you can go from there. I mean, you can upgrade your suspension, do a bunch of stuff on it, but I mean, $9,000 will get you a van that's fully converted, ready to go.
Yeah, that's exciting. So anyways, we got the rest of the guys over here. Why don't we bring them in so that everybody can get some credit for what they did to my van?
So I don't do much, but these are the guys that do all the work. This is Junior, this is Juan, and this is Lucio. So these are the guys that made it happen, and they did a great job. Long hours. It's been a couple weeks, and we're excited about this Sasquatch, and yeah, they did a great job. I mean, I couldn't have picked a better crew.
Yeah, no. I mean, I tell you what, guys. I mean, I've been here every day, filming, watching the van go together, and I've been very impressed with Art's crew. I mean, you guys all, just kind of hammered away. In the fact that all this was done within 2 weeks, and not just my van, but you were working on other customers' vans and building them too. So like 3 vans were built to this point, from start to this point, within 2 weeks, and I couldn't be more impressed.
Definitely, the guys, came up really good with this one, and the rest of them, the rest of the ones we've done. So this one's a little different, just because we were stopping, filming, but it turned out real good. The guys did an excellent job, and we look forward to your build.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you guys got any questions, check out Art's website, www.AJs4x4vans.com. And you know, if you got any questions, shoot him an email. He can answer any questions you have, or check him out on Instagram at AJs 4x4vans.com, or not .com, but AJs 4x4vans.
Yep.
And you know, get started with your van build. I know that I waited a long time to get to mine, and I'm excited to be here. So, thank you guys so much.
Van life elevated.
Van life elevated. Anyways, we'll see you guys again outside.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.